Join us today at Castle Talk Radio, where we talk soaring. All the ways you can soar over California and around the world and across America.
You're listening to Castle Talk Radio. We're live on the airwaves with Becca and Jessica. Now let's jump into this week's episode.
Disney California Adventure opened in 2001. Soarin' Over California wasn't just a ride. It was the park's emotional anchor. And just talking about it makes me emotional.
It made sense. The whole park was about California at that time. You flew over places you knew: Yosemite, Malibu, Napa. I always feel like I'm saying it wrong. Napa, the Golden Gate Bridge. So many beautiful, iconic parts of California.
Yeah, and it just felt like a breath of fresh air. You're up there in the sky. You see this film that is beautifully presented, beautifully edited. There's not a lot of CGI landmarks things in it, and it also evokes that whole spirit of the entertainment industry in Hollywood and Southern California. It really captures the essence of the state. It's just one of a kind, truly.
It really is. And, everyone's nostalgic about it, and I can totally see why. And let's not forget that the most amazing thing was when this opened, besides the ride, was the intro to the ride, where you're getting your pre-board spiel from none other than Patrick Warburton. And I love that opening. I'm glad that they have kept him for years and years, and I hope we'll continue to see Patrick Warburton doing intros. But his pre-show was perfect, and my favorite part is where he tells the guy he has to take off the Mickey ears, and the guy takes
Yeah.
them off, and he was bald where the Mickey ears were covering.
Yes, and give me your best Patrick hello.
Oh, I can't do it. I'm not good at that.
Oh,
Hello. I can't do it.
all my friends always quote it all the time, and I think people that don't even know it's from Soarin' quote it.
Yeah.
They're just that deep hello.
Yeah.
Oh, and then of course the scents going over California, the orange grove,
Mhm.
just places that I grew up going, places that are familiar to us, especially as visitors come in from California. And every year when they have like California resident discount tickets, like they do right now, or Southern California ticket discounts, it's a great
Yeah.
reason to come by.
Yes. It's beautiful. And I have to say, the orange scents became iconic for that ride. Like, that was like, you couldn't separate the two. Everyone waited for that moment when they would smell the orange groves.
Yeah, and remember one year we were there when it switched over from Soarin' around the world to back to Soarin' over California, because for the past few years, Disney California Adventure Park has brought back Soarin' over California during Food and Wine Festival.
Mhm.
And you were there with me, right?
Yes.
Okay, so first of all, we went there first, and the maintenance crew comes and switches the sign because it says Soarin', and then underneath it's a little hanging part that says around the world. And then they
Right.
switched it to over California. And that was also part of the Disney show. Certainly, they could have switched it out the night before. Instead, they let the crowd gather who want to rope drop this iconic attraction and let us witness this switch. And everyone cheered, and it makes you part of the story, because here we are still talking about this story. And then as we exited the ride, the cast members were giving out little cuties, and you just had that orange scent with you right there again.
Yes, and the cuties is something that they have continued to do, every year, and so I happen to be in the area when it's coming back. We just talked about this on our, California Adventure 25th anniversary episode, that it's coming back February 6th, which has already happened by the time this is airing. So we'll see if they bring back those cuties the morning of February 6th as well.
Yeah, and this is a big deal because Like I said, it usually only comes back during Food and Wine Festival, but they bumped that out even earlier. And it's for the whole 25th celebration of California Adventure. And then after it's done, and I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, but after it's done, we're not going back to Soarin' Around the World. But before we do that, let's go back to Soarin' Around the World, which was the second edition of Soarin'.
Yeah. So, okay. So, first, I just want to start with when we had Soarin' Over California, so did Epcot and Walt Disney World, and they were exactly the same. They ended at Disneyland, both of them, because if you're soaring over California, you're not going to end at Walt Disney
Mhm.
World, right? So in 2020 or 2016, Disney's like, what if we go bigger? Let's go bigger and better. And then Soaring Around the World was born. And with this one, they were able to change that up and have different endings at each park.
Right. So when you were over at Walt Disney World, you ended in Magic Kingdom. No, you ended in Epcot, right?
Epcot.
Because it what that
Yeah, I
ride
hate
is
it.
in
Now I'm
Epcot.
trying.
And
Now I'm
then
trying to remember because
no, I'm
last
pretty
time
sure
I
it is Epcot. I'm pretty sure.
yeah. Well, last
And
time I wrote it in Epcot, they brought back the California version for something they were doing. And so I'm like, now I can't even remember.
interesting.
So,
So the
okay.
one thing also the endings that always like switches me up is I in Soarin' Over California, do we end at Christmas time? One of them we
Yeah.
end at Christmas time over Sleeping Beauty Castle,
Yes, I
and
believe
one
so.
of them is not Christmas time. So there's all these
Yeah,
little
and
details.
I have it all jumbled in my head, so I don't know for sure.
So it's just funny because there's like different things, but um, Soarin' Around the World has been there since 2016, and you've got featured global landmarks. You have a broader appeal to a Disneyland resort guests who are visiting from all over the world,
Yeah.
and then they're able to use this, at Epcot or other Disney parks, and it just has a global appeal to it.
Right. Now, it didn't come without controversy though. And some of these things they have recently fixed. But yeah, let's talk about 'em because the thing with Soarin' Around California, you could sit almost anywhere and it was a pretty good seat. But Soarin' Around the World, man, if you didn't sit in that middle section, because there's 3 sections, and especially if you sat farther to one of the ends, the, um, I don't know what to call it, it bends things, like there's a bending
Yeah,
Eiffel
like
Tower.
distorting.
Distortion, that's what it was. Yeah. It's and the Taj Mahal is bending in weird ways.
Yeah,
So,
and the Eiffel Tower, of course, you're like, "What happened to it? Poor thing."
like, it was more like the leaning Eiffel Tower. They, like, combined those
Exactly.
2.
Yeah, and I feel
Yeah.
like the storytelling with that too was more based on, like, those icons rather than, like, the emotional storytelling aspect that I feel like you got a lot out of Soarin' Over California.
Okay, so as a non-Californian,
Mhm.
I don't feel that it's that big of a difference as the emotions. Like, obviously, I have emotions to the Soarin' Over California because it's the original, I'm attached to it. But I also love the scenery and I feel the emotion of soaring around the world. Not as much,
Okay,
but
you're
I do think that maybe that tie to your homeland.
biased, of course.
Yeah,
Of the homeland, the nation of California.
yeah,
Question that I couldn't remember. Of course, we can Google this, but I was just talking the other day at the parks while they're playing like the soundtracks in the Esplanade,
mhm.
and I was thinking to myself, is the soundtrack the same for Soarin' Over California as it is Soarin' Around the World?
It can't be because you have the different scenes that play into the different
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
like,
Because 'cause I'm
it could
like,
be
I'm listening to it and I'm like, "I don't even know which one this is, but I know it's Soarin', so it was probably Around the World that they were playing in there."
yeah, hold on though. I now they do play, the Soarin' Over California one quite a bit.
Hmm.
Like, we have a balloon festival, and every year it includes the
Okay.
same sound of that Soarin' one, and it's always the part with the cowboys that I remember.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Okay,
So
so
I'm gonna have to
it's
listen to it, like both
yeah,
of
so
them.
they're not the same, but just like how Paint the Night, and the new Starlight over in Walt Disney World have odes back to the Main Street Electrical Parade,
Okay.
this does Soarin' Around the World does have some basis in that Soarin' Over California.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense. And that's probably where I'm like getting that like familiarity where I'm like, this is
Mm,
the same.
yeah.
Oh, okay. So the better version, though, is clearly Soarin' Over California. No, but we've talked about it for years and said like we'd love like a refresh, a more little crisp look with the
The video.
technology that we have
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, the video, it definitely looks grainy on the big screen for Soarin' Over California. Um, you can tell it was shot before we had the 4K, 8K cameras, and but it's still, like, in a way, it kinda makes it feel even more, like, nostalgic, I think. So,
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
yeah.
So maybe refreshes and like updates don't always need to happen, but we are getting another version of Soarin', and that's also why we can just call it Soarin' in general to encompass because every time it's like the title is a teeny bit different. So
Right.
Disney's pivoting again,
Yep.
and it is going to be Soarin' Across America.
Yeah, it kind of feels like Disney is I mean, to some people, I feel like Disney's trying to split the difference between the nostalgia and the modernization, but it's actually in celebration of the United States of America's 250th birthday. So we don't know what it's going to entail. We don't know if the music will be similar. We
Mhm.
don't know. But I thought it might be fun to speculate what
Yes,
we think we will see in Soarin' over what is it called? Soarin' over America or Across America.
across.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
get those little one pieces in the middle, right?
Right.
And we will have Patrick. We will
Yes.
have our greeting, and that will be a familiar face to welcome us into Soarin' Across America, which is debuting in Disneyland Resort July 2nd, but it is
Right.
going to debut in Walt Disney World earlier than that.
Yeah, I believe May when they kick off their Cool Kids Summer, but it might be
Yes.
earlier. I can't I have so many Disney facts in my head, they're starting to jumble up. So, okay, first off, let's name some of the landscapes that we hope it shows,
Mhm.
um, in this, and with Yellowstone being my home national park,
Okay.
the one I visit the most. I do hope that they have something from there, whether it's the Yellowstone Falls or I think Old Faithful going off would be amazing since they
Mhm.
probably could use falls from somewhere like Yosemite or something instead.
Mhm.
Where are you hoping to see?
Well, I'm also imagining it and I'm wondering like if we're just kind of bouncing around or if we're going like east to west, west to east.
Yeah.
And I also have wondered like how are they going to incorporate Hawaii and Alaska? So let's go to Hawaii,
Okay.
another place that I have lived in my life and that my family still lives. And I'm going to go to the island of Kauai and say, let's make sure we have the Nepali coast there. So the Nepali coastline has those dramatic cliffs and landscapes that they used for lots of films, Jurassic Park and different things. And you can only access that either through coast, sky, or hiking. So it's just not a place that you get to go see a lot. And I think this would be a beautiful, beautiful spot to showcase.
Yes, definitely. Oh, Alaska though, they could do something with Denali or the Northern Lights.
Ooh,
That
that
would
would
be
be cool.
so beautiful. Yes. Okay, well, I know neither of us are as versed in East Coast stuff, but what do you think they'll show there? Do you think they're gonna go more like government buildings, or do you think they're gonna try and stick with things that are, more natural landscape? Because I feel like the other 2, even though they did have, like, the Eiffel Tower and stuff, it has been more landscape driven in most of it, and then they just put in a few icons. So what are you thinking?
Yeah, I definitely wanna see more landscape focus on this because I don't want it to get into the political realm of it, but
Yeah,
if we have to be political about it, I mean, it's gotta be the Statue of Liberty, which is
yes,
showcased on the artwork. I feel like that's an iconic spot that you can't miss, so we could maybe do a little bit of Manhattan skyline as we go over into, the waters there and see, like, Ellis Island and the Statue of Liberty
yeah.
there, and
Then you could go hit up Niagara Falls even though it's, like, on the border
yes,
with Canada,
we
you
could do
know?
that. We have a lot of falls options, I think, that we could
We do.
do.
It would be so hilarious if they came to the Niagara Falls of the West, because you know where that is, right?
That is in your home state.
Yes, Shoshone, not Shoshone. I know the tribe is Shoshone, but the falls are pronounced Shoshone. It's the Shoshone Falls, the Twin Falls. So,
It's very
yeah,
beautiful. Great
but
spot.
all right. Well, it's fun to think. What about like technology-wise, though? What are you hoping for?
I definitely want the technology in, like, the camera angles and the places they can go and, like, fly through, but I want them to stay away from, like, really
CGI.
CGI it up, like, I want it to be nice and clean, but I want it to be natural and real.
Yeah,
I'm
definitely.
not a filmmaker, so I don't know how to express that in the way that I want to, but I
Yeah.
want this to feel like America, the landscape, not necessarily
Yes.
like a checklist of things to do either, you know?
Yes, yes, I agree. That's great. I mean, this could finally give Soren an identity that fits modern DCA without erasing the roots is what I'm hoping for. Like it's just a continuation off of Soarin' Over California type thing.
I
So,
agree. I think this could be the perfect fit, and it'll be interesting to see how people react to it, and if we're going to then start seeing this on a rotating basis, like maybe this will be a summer edition or a July edition that we see over the 4th every year.
yeah,
Or will it end at the end of the year, before the end of the year? We haven't been given an end date,
right.
but I
Um,
really do think, like, the tone of the attraction Soarin', no matter which version you get, is just something that is simple,
mhm,
yet show-stopping in the way that you fly and glide over places, and it really encompasses that family atmosphere of the parks. It fits so many people, so many different, like, ages and interests. So
mhm.
it's just a very special attraction.
Definitely. And, you know, Jessica, since we talked about Soarin' over California, I think we need to tie in that when you are flying to California to visit Disneyland, there are a lot of airports that you can fly into, and getting to your hotel from those airports is easy with our sponsor of today's episode, and that is Arias Transportation. No matter where you choose to fly into, they can pick you up in their private car service and get you to your hotel. They can stop for you to go into the grocery store really quick. They have strollers that you can borrow. They can provide car seats. Visit ariastransportation.com to book that today, and we will see you real soon, soaring somewhere.
That's right. Soaring somewhere across America, around the world, or through California.
You've been listening to Castle Talk Radio. For exclusive discounts on tickets and hotels, free guides, and to listen to past episodes, visit castletalkradio.com. Be sure to tune in next week for more Castle Talk with Becca and Jessica.